I watched this documentary. It's a 2-part documentary. Yeah. One part is Taylor's side, one part is Scooter's side.
Yes.
That was cool.
You saw it?
No, I watched it, but
you watched it. Okay.
It's cool.
You guys should all watch this.
Yes.
The fact that this document, keep this in mind, Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in history. She's factually the biggest artist in history. This documentary is almost impossible to find on Max.
Yeah.
It's never hit #1 on Max.
Yeah.
This is, let me clarify this again. Imagine at the height of Michael Jackson's career, a documentary came out on one of the premier streaming services about Michael Jackson, and nobody was talking about it. Wouldn't you go, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
It almost makes you think that there's some information in that documentary that Taylor's team might not want the world to see. Ooh. And if you watch this documentary, you will find out that Scooter Braun is a fucking asshole, man. I'm just saying. You will see that what we think happened and what actually happened between Taylor and Scooter is a world apart.
She framed a very different narrative than the reality.
This girl she's truly brilliant. And she's incredibly genuine. Meaning, and the power of when someone is genuine is whenever they say something, you believe it to be true. When you watch her like on interview shows or even like on an interview in the red carpet, whatever she says in that moment is the most pure, authentic, genuine thing. Like she melts you. It's amazing her ability to communicate. When you watch her just talking to a single person, you see why she's so endearing and so likable. When Kanye calls her and asks her kind of for permission to do the song, but it's not even really. I think that was actually framed really poorly too. Even the way she's on the phone, she's not on the phone like the biggest artist in the world. She's on the phone like a little girl that thinks that like she's going to be bullied by her older cousin.
Kanye stole her moment. And she's not on stage like yelling, da-da-da. She's just kind of like, oh.
They asked her after that, like, how do you feel about that? She was like, wasn't that good? She's like, they're like, were you a fan of Kanye West? And she goes, yeah, it's Kanye West. Now, there's a power to that. And I also understand like what she represents to women is something that we'll never understand. She is petty. And women wish they were petty. They're not petty to that dude that fucked them over because they still want to get him. They're still in love with them. They're still heartbroken. They wish that he would let them back into their lives. Not Taylor. Taylor's coming out and she's fucking clapping full. She's putting the fucking they not like us treatment on every single dude she's with.
She's Michael Jordan. She remembers everybody that wronged her, and I'm going to fucking destroy you.
Now, what if I would posit this theory just from watching it, and I implore you all to watch this because it paints a very, very different story. What if Taylor was really upset at Justin Bieber, Steve Borchetta or Scott Borchetta? Yeah, the guy who was the person who originally owned the record label.
Big Machine
that Scooter ended up buying. What if the beef was with Justin Bieber, Scott Borchetta, and Kanye West? And the problem with Justin Bieber and Kanye West is they have fan bases, man. They have people who ride for them. They have people who are ready to go to war, ready to fight, ready to sling death threats, ready to go out there and get active, just like Swifties are. Believers are out there. Yeah. Kanye's fans, as we know, are fucking out there.
Yeah.
What if the easiest person to make the scapegoat for all of your issues is the person who doesn't have the fan base?
Yeah.
What if her ire for Justin and her ire for Kanye all gets funneled into Scooter?
Subconsciously or consciously?
I think that she is a brilliant woman and she is calculating all these things in real time. But like Justin
what would her beef be with Justin? I don't know.
He was dating Selena and she was best friends with Selena and like maybe it wasn't going that great with Selena. So she was like, you're treating my girl shitty. So I got her back.
Go to war. Okay.
And also he was antagonistic. Like there's this moment in the doc where like, I think this has been like, put all over the world, but like Justin posted a picture on Instagram of him FaceTiming Kanye, Scooter, and a DJ named Martin Garrix. And he goes, the caption of it is, what's up, Taylor?
Yeah, hi,
so
something like that, yeah.
he's like antagonizing. What a lot of people don't realize is, and they don't even say this in the doc, that picture he took from Martin Garrix's Instagram. They didn't take the picture, like the idea of the picture wasn't, hey, let's antagonize Taylor. The idea with the picture was, hey, all of us are together, we're boys, let's do it. And then he took it from Martin Garrix's Instagram and then used it to antagonize.
You look at it, Justin's the big image.
Yeah.
So it wasn't him that took it.
Yeah. It was them that screenshotted Justin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But he's still
I
antagonizing.
mean, anybody can
Well,
screenshot.
Justin is doing the antagonization, but it's not like Scooter, Kanye, and Justin are all coming together to
bully.
antagonize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no smoke from Taylor to Justin.
Yeah.
I don't see the songs about Justin.
Yeah.
I don't even see that many about Kanye, to be honest with you.
No, she took some jabs.
Yeah,
at
she
it.
took some shots at him.
But like for as big a thing as she'll give that whole album to a motherfucker she dated for a week. And just light jabs to Kanye.
She ain't give him no pussy. That's what.
I think she is.
I like
that
this theory.
could be true. Is it also possible she's just an incredibly shrewd businesswoman, and instead of paying for her masters, which apparently Scooter did offer, and there was a negotiation, and she didn't love the price, instead of doing all that, you know what I could do for free? Re-record everything, get my fans to buy it even more by weaponizing victimhood. And now, not only do I not have to pay hundreds of millions for my masters, I'm gonna be a fucking billionaire.
So
Yeah, that
100% yes.
That move is fire.
So, but here's the thing that's really interesting about that move. And even the documentary doesn't get this right. We even need to go back in the math a little bit. So obviously the big dispute is she has this Big Machine record label. She's been signed with them for like 13 years or something like that. Yeah. She finally is done with her deal and she basically wants to buy her masters back. Big Machine goes, well, we can do a workout. So every new album that you give us, we'll give you one of your old albums masters. And they talk about, there's also another one where it's a complete buyout. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Okay. Now, there's an important component that's happening during this time that nobody's aware of, but I'll tell you guys in a second. She goes, I don't want them. Matter of fact, it's okay. Okay?
She says she doesn't want her master.
She doesn't want it. There's email correspondence for all this. Okay? Now, keep in mind, Taylor has said throughout this process, I never knew anything. No, they didn't even give me the opportunity. Her words are on video saying this.
Is her dad involved?
While there's, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
While there's email correspondence saying otherwise. Now, her dad, once she signed with this record label, bought a 3% share of the record label.
Yeah.
Okay? So he is a shareholder and on the executive board. Now, in the documentary, they say he didn't want to have to lie to his daughter about certain things, so he denied opening all the emails. He was on the executive board, but he didn't open the emails. But they placed one of the management people from Taylor on the emails. So
The manager saw it.
one of that manager guys who was on the team saw every single thing. Now, once it came out that there was email records of Taylor knowing what was going on and her team knowing what was going on, and that was not that information was not consistent with what Taylor was saying, that guy who was on those emails, that manager, just so happened to retire.
Okay.
Maybe he was tired of his job. Maybe he no longer wanted to work for the biggest artist of all time.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get put out to the pasture. Who fucking knows? It doesn't matter. Point is, she decides not to. 2 ways to buy it out. She decides not to. She signs to Universal. Okay? That really pisses off Big Machine. Why the fuck would you sign to Universal? I gave you an opportunity, 1, buy them, or 2, earn them out. And you're going to go sign to Universal. Now, Universal has made a deal with Taylor that nobody else is aware of. And that deal is that they were going to buy the masters back for her and give it to her.
Fire.
This isn't even in the documentary. So Universal plans to give her back the masters. That's why she goes to them. The guy who was at Universal, Lucian Grange, I believe his name is, right? He signed the biggest artist in history away from Big Machine. How do you think that makes Big Machine feel?
Oh, pretty salty.
You think he wants to sell the masters to Universal?
Okay.
There's this other guy that comes around named Scooter Braun.
He doesn't know any of this.
He goes, does Taylor want to buy the masters? Because if she does, I would like her to be involved in this. I'm investing in Taylor. I want to be involved for a business. I think she's the biggest fucking thing in the world.
And what was Scooter's relationship with Taylor? Was there any?
No.
She had a little issue with him because he repped Kanye, and she took that as a slap in the
Not
face,
yet.
apparently. Oh, really?
Not yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No.
All right, take it back.
I'm pretty sure the timing isn't even yet. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
The timing isn't yet. Matter of fact, Scooter didn't rep Kanye until after the Famous video comes out.
Ah, okay.
So she's upset at Scooter for repping Kanye, but he didn't even rep until after the Famous. Now, he did promote the video, and he promoted the art piece, which is like has her in a wax sculpture naked, which I think is kind of like there's a woman's body. Like,
Yeah.
You can say art, it's
I can
a
also see a
statement about
woman-
culture, but you could also be like, yo, that's my titties.
And I
Like,
can
shut
see
the
a woman
fuck up.
feeling like kind of violated by
Yeah,
that. Like, what are you
100%. So
doing?
I'm like, yeah, that's just
I give her
corny.
that.
That's
yeah,
corny.
completely.
But when that call happened with Kim and all them and how they were doubling down and making it look like she was lying, which she wasn't lying. If anything, I'd defend the fuck out of Taylor with that. She said, I don't know if I'm comfortable with it just yet. And then never mentioned the bitch line.
Yeah.
So she never gave consent. She's like, that one didn't seem that bad. But she never said, yeah, go run with it. And then Kim and them tried to make her look like some fucking hypocrite. It was some gross shit.
Yeah, after that. It came out after that.
It was gross.
Kim lied to her.
Yeah, it's corny. Anyway, Scooter tries to do it. Scooter buys the things, fucks up the whole deal from Universal. You know who loves the fact that they're fucking over Universal? Big Machine. You just bought out, you stole my artist, and now you think I'm going to sell you the masters so you can make even more money with her? Nah, fuck you. I'm going to sell them to this other guy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
It seems kind of like Taylor's made the label, right?
Well, the label, when Scooter bought the entire label. She was for 300 million. She was 140 million of it. She wasn't even the majority of the label. Now, he's not buying it if she's not on there.
Well, she might have been the plurality, right?
She is the reason you buy it. But keep in mind, there are still $160 million worth of assets that are on that label.
So my question is, why wouldn't Big Machine just be like, yo, Taylor, we signed you. You gave us 7 amazing albums. We did an amazing job together.
Yep.
Just as a sign of good faith, we're going to give you back your masters. Like, in my mind, if you're an artist, it's like...
worth $140 million.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
But my question is, if you put in all this time, you're an artist, you make all these songs, why are you not entitled to having your art that you make?
Because that's not the business model.
Yeah. That's
Well,
not the contract you
that
signed.
is the artist model that we all feel life was that way, but
That's my point.
So
This
you're
is public
making a good-
perception. Is that people look at this and they go, look, she made the songs. She wrote them herself. You can see the pen and paper. She recorded them with her voice. She played all the instruments. Why is she not entitled to it? That seems kind of fucked up.
So I think Dave Portnoy has like the best description of this. Ironically, I know that he's like the biggest Taylor Swift fan. He shits on Scooter all the time, but like his model is much similar to Scooter's. So what he says is, especially with the Call Her Daddy thing, it's like our business model is to take 20 different bets. We bet on 20 different podcasts, maybe one blows, and that's what can pay for all this. And that's what record labels do. Whether you like it or not, it sucks. Once you're the artist that's making all the money, you're like, fuck, I want more fucking money. I completely get this.
But there's
right?
19 other artists who only eat because you were successful.
And that is the game. And that one pays for the other fucking 19.
And I don't think people realize that about the music industry.
Not
is
at
that
all.
It's kind of set up to where nine people don't make it and one person does. And so you got to like lean on the person that does make it to get back the bet on the other 9.
And those people, and that one person that does make it is like, well, I was always going to make it. Why the fuck do I have to pay for those other people? Because everyone who makes it believes that they were always going to make it.
And there was no option.
You know, nobody's like that surprised by it. You dedicated your life to it.
And Taylor probably would have made it any other
She
way.
would have made it no matter what.
And
But
this-
she happened to make it with them.
I don't know if you want to bog down the whatever with like some of these other facts, but some of the things that she says just outright were not true. Like she said, Scooter tried to make me sign an NDA if I wanted to buy the masters, that I would never publicly defame him. I could never criticize him for the rest of my life. That's just not true at all. The NDA was you can't discuss the deal, which is every NDA that you ever sign.
Also, there's another thing, like in the documentary, they go, not only did Scooter sell the music to this company, because he ended up selling it as well.
Yeah.
He also made sure that he would continue to profit on it.
Yeah.
That's not the case. He sold it to this private equity company, Shamrock, that's owned by Disney, right? They were scared because Taylor said she's going to re-release the albums. So they're like, we're not going to give you all the money. Yeah, this is worth $400 million. We're going to give you 330, and you're going to have to earn out the other 70, because if she starts pumping out albums, that's going to kill our profit. Scooter goes, I think the more people listen to the new albums, the more they'll listen to the old. They'll compare them. What is it called? The rising tide lifts all boats. And he was right. He ends up earning it out. But it wasn't, hey, I need to be involved in the upside. It was they were scared to give him market value for the albums because they thought it would be undercut by her re-recording.
Why did Scooter sell to that company instead of Universal?
I think they were probably made the biggest deal. One. Actually, he offered to sell it to Taylor.
Yeah.
And then she blackmailed him.
Wait, what?
This is not in the documentary either. She didn't blackmail him, but she was basically like, not her, but like her team is basically like, sell it at a loss, and then she'll stop using all this Me Too language about you.
Oh,
She uses a lot of Me Too language.
If you look at it, it's like, I did not give my consent.
Yeah.
She was using these like sexually charged words to describe what's going on. And the team, there's like email correspondence of all this. That's the thing. It's like, sell it at a loss, and then she'll stop painting you as this bad guy, but only if you sell it at a loss. And he's like, fuck that.
Yeah,
You've already
this
painted me
shit
as
is
a bad guy. You
crazy.
sent all of your fans at me. They're giving me death threats. They're giving my kids death threats.
Yeah.
Like,
When she said, I never knew about this. This happened without my consent. Let Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun know how you feel. She knows. Matter of fact, in that Kanye phone call, he goes, hey, I want to get your permission because you have an army behind you. She's
also,
aware.
she also realizes that like Scott Borchetta's name gets no clout. So she stops referencing Scott Borchetta and only references Scooter. Scott Borchetta is the guy who owned the fucking masters. Now, I understand the frustration of her having her masters with the guy that represents Justin, who she fucking hates because of Selena. And then I guess the Kanye thing would be happening later, but still, I understand that frustration. It's like, this guy owns my work and he represents these two people that I fucking hate. And I can't get angry at them because then their fans are going to shit on me and that's going to just be ugly. So I'll just get angry at that guy.
You know what's crazy is I looked up on Twitter after I watched the doc. I was like, I just want to see what the comments are. So many of the comments are, I just watched the documentary. I love Taylor even more. Fuck Scooter Braun even more. And it's like, y'all are just going to live in the reality you want to live in.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. It's an emotional thing. And she is brilliant. Yes. There is nobody. This is the brilliance of Taylor Swift. You ready? And I love her. It was the greatest concert I've ever been to. This is the genius of Taylor Swift, right?
You're scared of them Swifties, bro.
No. You're right.
I am.
You're right. You're right. This is the genius. Ready? Has there ever been anyone in history that is a billionaire, the most successful in their field, truly unstoppable, chart-topping success, and also unanimously thought of as a victim?
Impossible.
To manage those two things is masterful. I mean, the emotional IQ necessary to have all of your fans still see you as a victim while everybody that has aggrieved you has been punished, thrown to the wayside, fucked up. Now, I tell Scooter, I was like,
Michael Jackson did it for a little bit. Oh, he tried.
And then
he tried.
And then,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
But like, I tell Scooter, I was like, yo, nobody got to feel bad for you. You're a billionaire too. The fuck are we complaining about?
Yeah.
Like, you ended up killing it. I understand where you're coming from, where you're like, yeah, but like, people think of me like as this thing that isn't true. Like, there is facts and evidence and emails that shows that she is lying. This is not a true thing, and people still think of me that way, and that would frustrate the fuck out of me.
So the wife, his ex-wife, was saying she was getting phone calls at the house threatening the lives of her and the kids.
Fuck.
Like, this is not, yo, I made money. That's great. You don't have to feel bad for me, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I don't, like, what is the Taylor Swift breakup song that's a three-dimensional, we were both at fault, things just didn't work out. Sorry about that, man. I wish it did.
Yeah, but that's not art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point, but I'm
That,
like,
I mean, yeah.
I understand your point, but that would be boring. Like, where's the rap song where it's like, well, he did have a reason to shoot up my homies, but I have to get my payback. Like, that's the rap. You want like emotionally measured.
I mean, what's that good
No, you want whap,
Yeah.
fuck him up.
But there's plenty of
pedophile.
There's plenty of breakup songs that are like, we were too young or whatever. You know what I mean? We were too young. There's songs that are
That's a Drake
like that
song.
everywhere. Yeah, exactly.
You understand the point.
Yeah.
It does. The art is better this way, without a doubt, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to see, like, Big Machine or whatever has the emails on their website.
Yeah.
Like, this proof is there. It just shows like humans are so emotional. Like we just want you to represent a feeling we have. And then if you don't, we're not even gonna look the other way. I bet you Taylor and Scooter have never spoken, by the way, since they spoke like maybe 3 times before this. And once shit started to cook, they've never spoken again. I bet you, my suspicion is once the narrative is set, you don't want to talk to somebody that could finish my sentence.
Yeah, I mean, like you talk to someone that then makes you feel empathy for them and see both sides. You're like, oh damn, maybe I did overreact a little.
Yeah.
Nah, like you're making money and have your army going with your narrative. Like, don't change it.
Live in your bubble.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
House of the Dragon.
Did
you watch?
I've only watched about 30 minutes of the episode.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Okay.
this conversation you're having right now
Is-
right at there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for you guys. We could talk about it.
The last thing I was thinking on the
Yeah.
Taylor
Say as
point
many
is
as you
that I think she really did benefit from being, again, I don't think the Kanye thing made her famous. I think that's obviously not true, but it did thrust her into a national spotlight in the eyes of the American people as someone that get taken advantage of as a victim. And that's really, really beneficial.
And that has never stopped happening.
No.
She has continued. She saw the power.
And she
in
was a
that.
victim there. Like, I think what happened was wrong.
Absolutely.
But being brought into the national spotlight in that way, I think is really
It's
beneficial.
funny. I was watching the doc, and they talk about when Kanye calls her, and they have this interaction, which is quite charming. And he goes, he asks her if it's okay if he puts a line in the song, and the line of the song that he asks is not "I made that bitch famous."
Yeah.
It's "I think Taylor Swift might owe me sex." That's the line he asks her. Okay. And he sets it up by like, I think you might be upset. And then she's like, she's like, is it mean? He goes, no, it's just whatever. Like, you feel so bad for this girl. And then he goes, I think Taylor Swift might owe me sex. And she goes, oh, well, that's not that mean. She kind of laughs a little. She goes, okay, well, I just kind of need to think about it, but I thought it was going to be way worse. She doesn't co-sign it, but she thinks about it. He doesn't ask her about the, I made that bitch famous. Here's the thing. I genuinely believe Kanye believes he made her famous. So he's going into that call like, well, this is undisputable. I don't need to ask her this line. Like, I made her famous, so that is obvious.
From a person, if you're not in tune with pop music at all, I wasn't aware of Taylor Swift
Until
before
that
day.
moment.
Yeah. So
I'm honestly like defensive of Kanye with that, because I bet he was blindsided when he found out she was upset with that.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like as if Big Sean was like, I can't believe Kanye said he made me famous. He'd be like, I did make you famous. Nobody fucking knew you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whatever, there's so many of these things, just like every like great controversy, there's so much information swirling around and nobody talking to one another.
Yeah. Like,
you ever like get in an argument with your wife and like neither of you is saying how a thing that they did made you feel.
Yeah.
And then when you reconcile, you're like, oh, you didn't mean it that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's this whole drama.
Son, you got to get Mom and Scooter on the phone, bro. The mother,
The
whatever
mother-
you call
I mean,
it,
how awesome would that be?
Get
if
them
they
on
just
the phone. That's it. Combo,
She reached
usually.
the top. There's nothing she can do. He reached the top. There's nothing more he can do. Like, what if they had a conversation and just squashed it? And she was like, yeah, I shouldn't have, told the fans to like, go do that shit to you guys. And like, I wish that I knew that was her perspective. And then Scooter was like, I wish I didn't pump that famous video as much. And I could see how that made you feel and it was uncomfortable. And like, I wish that you got back to me about buying the fucking albums, or I wish I knew Universal was planning to buy them in the first place. If I knew that, maybe I would try to partner with both of you guys on it. Like, but once you're set in your narrative, how can Taylor come out and be like, yeah, I was actually just kind of manipulating my fan base to be mean to him and using the Me Too movement?
I mean, when you say
Like,
it
she can never
when
say
you
that.
say it like that.
Yeah,
it's
I
not-
wouldn't say it like
She
that.
could never say it like
I wouldn't say it like that.
If we're trying to make this call happen, I wouldn't
I wouldn't
have
say
phrased it that way.
Yeah.
But it's
Just
a crazy.
misunderstand it. It was just
Here's the thing about the documentary. It kind of is boring. I'll be honest with you. Like, it's not the best documentary.
I mean, entertainment
yeah,
law.
but
is
you
little-
knew a lot more shit that the doc doesn't say.
That
So
is
that
true.
makes
That
it way
makes it
more
interesting.
Yeah.
And here's what I also noticed watching the doc. The Taylor side is like they're both like 50 minutes each. 35 minutes of it is what a great person Taylor is, and everybody loves her, and all these other things happen to her. And then there's like 5 to 10 minutes of here's what happened with the deal. And then the Scooter side is like 10 to 15 minutes. Here's Scooter is, and then 30 minutes. Here's facts about the deal.
But they go
and I
hard
thought
with
that was
Scooter.
telling.
Like, they let us know that Scooter's family died in the Holocaust like 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, they go hard in the the paint. They're like,
yeah.
yo, by the way, it got nothing to do with Taylor. Taylor not German. You know what I mean? There's no reason to bring up the Holocaust. But immediately in the beginning of Scooter's side, it's like, by the way, Scooter's whole family died in the Holocaust or survived the Holocaust. They got him doing like a little, school presentation at like 7 years old talking about the Holocaust.
Damn.
I'm like, what the fuck does this guy do with that?